If you're seeing this video, God made no mistake in showing you this video because it's time you opened your eyes. I posted this on my story after
if he right here with me.
This ain't it. This life, I know a lot of y'all are struggling mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, but look at your distractions. And so I was like, God, I want what you want for me. Hello, beautiful people. I need all my girls to tap in to this video because God made no mistakes of showing you this video today, especially if you're in your young 20s, late 20s, 30s, 40s. You're looking to reinvent yourself and become your own dream woman, and you've been distracted by your addictions. I am here to change your entire life. In today's video, I'm here to open up your mind, open your eyes, open your ears to understanding that a large percentage of the world is distracted by their addictions. A large percentage of the world is distracted by their addictions. I posted this on my story after coming across the U.S. election.
If he right here with me. Turned up with my sister. Turned up in my shoulder. I ain't got no hitter, and no hitter ain't got. Let's go. I'm proud to show these hitters love her. How the, is that your man? Huh?
It was wrong time, wrong place. One of those scenarios.
And of all the women that could have came and represented us as black women, you got Meg up there twerking at a political event. Like, you can tell they're taking us as a joke, just using us as puppets, just using us for their own monetary gains, man. And it's like, I don't understand what's happening. I've never been the one to look at life from a conspiracy lens, or I've never been the one to say things like, oh yeah, you know, the industry is here to ruin black lives. But I swear, the more I begin to look at life from such a broader view, it kind of hurts my feelings that it's the truth. And it's just sad to see that they are really trying to slut black women out. All they want us to represent is our bodies. They sexualize us, and the only thing they want us to put out is our bodies. Our sexiness is everything is about our bodies, our looks, just the sexual energy. It's like when it comes to the rap game, you don't really see women trying to focus on their craft or lyrically, you know, progress or get better. It's like as long as they can just sing ABCs, as easy as 1, 2, 3, they'll find a way to twerk to that. They'll get that first catchy line off, and everything after that is just twerking and booty and tits, and it's like, it's so overwhelming at this point. Like, you can tell that nobody really respects the black women if it's outside of their body.
And that was the point where I was like, wow, this is how you distract people in this world. That everyone has the power over your decisions, over your life, over how you're living your life, how you're behind in life, because you're distracted. So I made this post on my story, and so many people reached out to me, and I was like, wow, I was just so happy to see that so many people saw what I was seeing, how we are so distracted by our addictions. And addictions can be in the form of toxic relationships that you keep running back to, crap music and celebrities that you admire, the crap lyrics that you're chanting, but you don't even know a Bible verse, or you don't even read books. Lust over real connections. It could be comparison over reality. It could be through drug use. It could be through abuse in itself, whether it's verbal, physical. A lot of y'all are comfortable with verbally abusing yourself or others, physically abusing yourself or others. Pornography that is so easily accessible from a young age. Cannabis, alcohol use, fast food, where you're addicted to food that is only making you unhealthy, unwell, overweight, sick, ill, not feeling your best self? And how many years are you going to sit not feeling your best and blaming everybody else before taking action and ownership of your life? You're waiting for somebody to come and save you when you need to actually open your mind and open your eyes. If you really want to reinvent yourself and glow up and end off the year strong and head into 2025 strong, you need to understand and really look at your life. Like, where have you been distracted? Where have you been putting your attention to? How many of you can say you choose your distractions over spending time on your goals? You're quick to call yourself a procrastinator, but you're really good at using your phone to be unproductive. You're really good at that. Yet you're wondering why you're not where you want to be. You're wondering why this person is living a better life than you. You're comparing yourself. You're jealous. These are broken cycles that are going to repeat itself until you wake up, until you realize that you are where you are right now because of where you place your energy and your time. Our society, our world is so broken because we are so distracted by what is going on outside of us, and you're not even paying attention. A lot of you guys are going to be like, I can't watch this video because it's too long and I have a short attention span.
Why is it that you cannot focus for longer than 1 minute? In school, you struggle to pay attention. You can't study for more than a minute without reaching for your phone. You can't even do something fun like watch a movie without distracting yourself. Or you can't watch a 1 minute TikTok video without going to the comment section. Let me tell you why this is. You have done this to yourself. Look at what you are doing right now. You are on social media. As soon as you get bored of a video, within 5 seconds you swipe to the next video and you bombard your brain with a new spike of dopamine. You have conditioned yourself to have absolutely no attention span at all. Your dopamine system is fried. And so whenever you try to do something serious, like study, create your own business, and build a better life, your brain will not be able to do so, because all that your brain wants to do is reach for your phone and mindlessly consume.
That is because you're on all these apps scrolling through. You're also on dating apps where all you have to do is scroll within 1 second and you can't even hold your attention. How unfortunate is that? If you want to become CEO, if you want to become successful or a boss, you don't really want to become a CEO of your life. No, you're controlled by what you have on your phone. You're controlled by the world. And that is how they want it to go. I used to be distracted. I had to give up a lot of things this year for me to actually start on YouTube. Things like crap music and lyrics that don't align with the dream woman that I desire to become, and I'm working towards her. How I carry myself. Also the celebrities behind the lyrics. I don't even want to portray or repeat that energy or have that kind of energy in my life. Cannabis. Waking up with a cloudy mind just because I wanted to disconnect from the world and forget about my problems. The thing about your distractions turning into your addictions, when you don't become aware of the chokeholds that it has over your life, over your daily movement, your actions, your mindset, that is when you're going to be in a funk. That is when life is not going to feel that great for you. You're going to go through a spiral of feeling lonely, unhappy, feeling empty, feeling jealous, all of the negative emotions. And I'm here to help you move forward. So here are some things that I had to do to really pull away from my distractions. I actually needed to make this video because this is the season to heal. When I first started my channel this year, it was the season of awareness, the season of acting out of intention. Now that we're headed into the colder months where we want to be comfortable, we're easily tempted to fall back into our self-sabotaging tendencies and distractions because it's cold outside. Listen, I need you to heal. I need this to be your healing soft girl era, that you are actually digging deep within yourself and your inner child to heal, to accept where you are and understand that you need the awareness to move forward. Like, you need to call yourself out, even if you feel shameful. And that's the first thing I had to realize, is that you're going to feel in shame. Like, after you do what you do, you always have this shameful feeling because you know you shouldn't be doing it, yet you keep going back to it. And so I just don't want to feel like that anymore. Just breaking ties with emotions that you don't like, emotions that you don't like to feel. And it's so easy to bring yourself back or go back to what's familiar because we're looking for that dopamine hit. We're in that moment, we're not thinking about how we're going to feel at the end. We're just feeling like we need to fix the void and this is what I want right now. It could be even shopping. There are shopping addictions as well. You can just really analyze times in your life where you acted out of emotion rather than being logical because you wanted a fix right now. That's why patience is so important, and self-awareness, and having a conversation with yourself to be like, is this serving who I want to become? Is this what I need right now? And chances are, when you have deeper conversations, you won't be so quick to give in to your distractions that may become addictions. Here are a few tips that helped me break away from my distractions that were easily becoming my addiction. Number one is going to be mindful awareness of your state. The state in which you are making these decisions and choices, whether they're bad habits, whether they're your lustful thoughts. So important for you to understand your mental state in that time and place. You want to really pay attention to how you are feeling before, during, and after engaging in any behaviors. Because oftentimes when we're acting out or when we're choosing our distractions, it's usually because of something that has triggered us prior to making the decision. Maybe you had a really rough day, or maybe you just got out of a breakup. So your first instinct is to self-sabotage. For me, out of boredom or because I wanted to disconnect from the world, I would choose my distraction rather than look at, is it going to be serving me? No, I just needed the fix because of how I was feeling prior to. During, I was happy. After, I was in shame. I was sad. I was lonely. And you plummet. Your energy is just always drained. Notice how in the list that I mentioned, and I'm going to mention it a few times in this video, notice how your energy plummets after you make the decision to be distracted by your addictions. And so I started journaling my feelings to make the patterns clearer for me and reveal triggers that I may not have known otherwise. So important for you to really take this time to heal, but take this time to be intentional. Get a journal. Start writing out the triggers. It's time to pay attention to your patterns, to your triggers, to your emotional state prior to your distractions or addiction. Number two, assess your mood and your emotion behind the action. Are you bored? Are you easily triggered? Are you looking for an out-of-body experience? Oftentimes when I was indulging in cannabis, I was looking to disconnect from the world. Until I realized when I would wake up very cloudy and very unproductive and just not feeling really good about myself. I was really sluggish and slow. And so that really just affected my productivity, my success, and where I would like to see myself. And so I knew that I just had to assess myself. Why did I want to keep disconnecting from the world? So I started asking myself questions, deep questions, and that allowed me to have more self-compassion for myself. The goal is to understand rather than to judge yourself. Understand these urges. Understand why you keep going back. And number three, I really had to ask myself, were the certain things that I was doing adding to my life or taking away from my life. We're so quick to procrastinate. We're quick to swipe for hours, yet when it comes to going to the gym, we have no time. But I thought you wanted to lose weight. I thought you wanted to build your dream body. When it comes to reading a book and gaining more knowledge, no, we're still quick to do all the things that don't serve us. And so I really had to ask myself, am I sitting in the life that I desire? And I said, no, I'm not sitting in the life that I desire. And I had to pay attention and open my eyes, like, why am I not sitting in the life that I desire? Oh, because I spent a lot of time being distracted. So when I started to just pay attention, like number one and number two, asking myself questions, paying attention to my mood and my emotion when I start acting out of urges, out of trying to get a dopamine hit, trying to just fix something immediately rather than assessing what I actually need right now, I started to open my eyes to, wow, I'm so quick to give in to the temptations rather than build the discipline that is needed for me to become successful, be able to build a YouTube channel. And look what I was able to do within the last 11 months when I realized that I was distracted. A lot of you guys are hoping for your dreams to come true. You're the one standing in your own way. Open your eyes and realize that you're the one standing in your own way. Look, there's nothing wrong with having goals. You're going to keep setting all these goals and you're going to keep complaining that nothing's working. Pay attention to where you place your energy, period. If you want something, you go and make it happen. But clearly you don't want it because you keep giving up on it so quick, faster than you give up on your temptation. If a man called you up, you're quick to leave your house, but you can't even leave your house for the gym. So clearly you do not want your body goals. It doesn't mean that much to you. And I had to get really serious with myself and be like, yeah, the life that you desire doesn't mean that much for you because you're not putting in the work. You would rather put in the work to feel satisfaction in this temporary moment. Number 4, pay attention to who you're surrounded by, what you're consuming, what you're absorbing rather than observing. And also pay attention to whether you're reenacting what you see online.
You really have to be mindful of the company that you keep because usually the people that you're around is who you become. If you hang around cheaters, eventually you're going to cheat. If you hang around thieves, eventually you're going to steal. If you hang around people with no purpose, no goals, eventually you're going to lose your purpose and you're not going to have no goals. If you hang around people that just smoke and drink all day, all you're going to do is smoke and drink. If you hang around winners, you're going to win. If you hang around millionaires, you're going to become a millionaire. If you hang around people that really work towards their goals and they're motivated every day in their discipline, eventually you're going to get very disciplined, you're going to get very motivated, and you're going to work towards your goals every single day. It is just so important to be selective of the people in your life.
I would watch a lot of reality shows. I loved the Bad Girls Club. I loved Love and Hip Hop. I enjoyed it. And I think I enjoyed it because a lot of people will look for relatable content, especially when there's drama involved. I just kept reenacting what I would see online, and that was diminishing my character. It also wasn't making me feel like I was the best person. If you're single and you're looking for a good man, a lot of you guys are reenacting behaviors that a good man is not looking for. And so I just stopped. I had to really pay attention to the lyrics, to the artist behind what I'm listening to.
Music affects every area of the brain so far studied. Music actually plays the brain. It plays various brain structures, sending these vibrations through various brain structures and causing them to synchronize. Scientists have actually put probes in the brains of people listening to music and re-recorded the music that they were listening to from their brains. That's amazing to me. It just blows my mind.
All of our feelings and emotions create our emotional state of being and creates the vibrational frequency that we are operating on. Now, I am someone who is very emotional and very influenced. So I would find that I would find a banger, like a really good song, and it would create all of these unwanted and unsettling emotions within my body. And then these emotions would create certain thoughts that would stick with me throughout the rest of the day. And there is a formula that is called thoughts create feelings and feelings create thoughts. And if you know how the brain works, you know that if you think something over an extended period of time, it starts to create neural pathways in your brain. So as an example, I would find a really good love song, like a breakup song, like a sad song. And I would start to create stories in my head of me playing out that song. And I would start to compare it to my current relationship. I would start to think of what's happening in the song happening to me and my boyfriend. And that would stick with me throughout the day, and it would create all of these unwanted thoughts. And I realized that the more that I engaged in listening to these types of songs and music, I was just creating more and more of these thoughts, and they were starting to manifest into my reality, which might sound a little extreme. I understand it sounds a little extreme. It's just music, right? But what you feed your brain matters. What you feed your brain literally matters because it creates your reality. So I made the executive decision a while ago that I just don't really listen to music anymore. And it wasn't one of those things where I was I'm not listening to music. It just became gradual. I was I don't care to listen to music anymore. And then that led me to deleting my Apple Music subscription, and I don't remember the last time I've listened to a song unless I'm in the car on the drive to the beach and I'll put on a good country banger. I am in no way encouraging you to not listen to music. I'm just sharing my experience because, maybe the same thing is happening to you.
You guys really got to start listening and paying attention to the lyrics. I get it. We enjoy the beat. Go and listen to the music that's instrumental rather than the actual song, because those lyrics get stuck and ingrained in your mind. And before you know it, you're going to catch on to a line and keep singing it. I need you guys to stop making all these TikTok videos. Time spent on you making these dance moves could have been time spent towards your goals.
If you want to listen to music with lyrics, I suggest you listen to music with positive, uplifting lyrics. Because these words in some of these songs, you're adopting them. When you listen to certain rap songs or hip hop songs that say, I'm a gangster, I'm a killer, I'm a murderer, I'm a thug, I'm a pimp. You listen to it long enough and your subconscious mind is going to adopt all of that. Now you're thinking, I'm a gangster, I'm a thug, and all of this and that. I love this one though. I'm the shit. You're telling the universe you're the shit. You're telling your subconscious mind you're the shit. I don't care what the song implies or what the artist implies by saying that. Your subconscious mind hears the word shit and you're saying, I'm the shit. You're not only shit, you're telling the universe, but you are the shit, the absolute shit. So then the universe says, all right, as you command, you are now shit, but not just any shit, the shit. Be careful, guys.
And you don't even realize that the time that it took for you to learn a dance move or the lyric to a song, man, I used to spend so much time just listening to music and doing nothing with my life. I sit here at 30 years old saying, I thank God for waking me up 4 to 5 years ago. And to have this perspective of life, to know that it's precious. How much time do you spend listening and absorbing nothing that adds to you? And that's why I got into listening to podcasts. Anything that uplifts me, I'm there. But look at what you listen to often. Look at what you're absorbing very often. And you will just see that you're passing what you're learning down to your kids, where your kids are in school, repeating what you're listening to. Their brain cells are not growing because of what you're listening to. You are the example. You are the leader. And if you didn't have that example, this is where we break the cycle. So I had to really pay attention to, wow, these lyrics are only making me feel raunchy. And the women that are singing these songs and the men that are singing these songs is only degrading. It's only degrading. And so you need to wake up and pay attention and realize that if you continue this cycle of just choosing the song, not seeking better, then accept where you are and accept where your life is. You may not think that the music is deep, but the music is just as strong as energy. It is energy. Pay attention to what you're listening to. When you're listening to sad music, you're going to be sad. When you listen to sad music during a breakup, you're going to be sad and reminiscing over past times. I never did that during my breakups. I would listen to music that hyped me up and reminded me who I was. So you got to pay attention to that. When I would listen to bad bitch music, I would be walking around like I'm that girl, you know what I mean? Easily swindled just because somebody is driving a nice car. Oh my God, like take me to Miami. Nope. Now I don't even care to go to those places because I can do what I want for myself. A lot of you guys are out here looking for somebody to pay your way through life because of what these celebrities have made it look like, yet they're still unhappy and unfulfilled. And a lot of you guys don't want to work. A lot of you guys don't want to put in the work because you're looking for a provider and a protector. And they're out there, but why do you not have any goals? Why do you not have any hobbies? Why do you not know how to make money? Why are you not even motivated to make your own money and be a contributor or just be able to create the life of your dreams rather than waiting for somebody else to do it for you? What you're absorbing is not real life. It's not realistic. So wake up. It's time to just wake up and realize what you constantly see in social media. You need to be focused on your own lane and focus what you want for yourself. Stop trying to be like what you see on the internet. Stop trying to be like those other women. Look at their life and they're unhappy. Why are you trying to reenact their life? Number 5 is going to be assess the shameful emotion and process it. Understand that when you let go of the shame, you take back your power. When you take back your power and you realize that you are not perfect, that you do make mistakes, you won't be so inclined to repeat those mistakes because you have assessed it. If you don't assess your shame, you're going to go back to it feeling guilty and guilty every time, and it's going to spiral. And so I realized that I had to really assess it and also realize that I'm not perfect. A lot of you guys are looking and striving for perfection. You're acting as though people that you are inspired by or you look up to don't have demons that they face often or that they're perfect. I personally, for me, I had to come to the realization that, girl, like we all have things that we need to heal from. We all have things that we are probably shamed of. We all have things that we're struggling with. You are human. But that is where I needed to turn to God for direction because I was living of this world. And when you live of this world, you are going to do the things of this world where many of us are distracted by our addictions or distracted by things that don't align with the right path. Notice and really pay attention to
shame is Satan's way of making you feel safe outside God's presence. Whenever you sin and you're feeling ashamed and you run away from God, that is Satan's own way of trying to convince you that outside is safer than inside God's presence. Do not let Satan convince you that going outside of God's presence to process your fall, to process your sin, is better than submitting your weaknesses before God's feet. Do not, because that's what Satan does with shame. The reason why he sends shame is because he wants you to hide away from God, to process your sins outside God. But you shouldn't process your sins outside God. You shouldn't process your fall outside God. Anytime you fall, process it with God. Let your falls and your mishaps take you closer to God. Anytime you notice that your sins and your lifestyle and everything you're doing is taking you out of God because of shame, it is Satan. It is Satan that is sponsoring shame. Satan directly sponsors shame. Do not let Satan convince you that processing your humanity outside God is the right place to be, is the right thing to do. There is no safe space outside the protection of the Most High God. Any safe space out there is sinking sand. That's even why when Adam and Eve hid away from God because they were naked and they were feeling ashamed, God called them back into his presence. He made clothes for them. See, it's you rather process your fall in God's presence. Let God be the one to clothe you than going outside God's presence to be clothed by the lie of the enemy. When Adam and Eve fell, and they hid away from God, and they now knew their nakedness, which wasn't supposed to be in the first place. What did God do? He made clothes for them. Go and read the book of Genesis. God made clothes for Adam and Eve. Even though they had fallen, he still made clothes for them. So it's rather, God would rather want you to come to him to make clothes for you, if that makes sense, than for you to go out and be naked before Satan. Satan does not appreciate your nakedness. Satan uses your nakedness for his own manipulation. He uses your nakedness to his own advantage. Satan does not care about your vulnerability. So him convincing you somehow that being vulnerable with him is better than being vulnerable with God, who can clothe you in the right places, is the biggest lie. Of course, what do I expect from Satan? He is a liar. But anyway, do not let shame be a blockade, be a barrier, be a stronghold that drives you out of God's presence. Remember that God is a fortress. He is where you go to find your safe space. He's where you go to be clothed. Okay? God bless you with the boldness to run to him, because you need it.
The addiction list that I had already posted, or the distraction list that I had already posted, I will repost it again. Notice how none of those make anybody feel that good. That is in the world. That is in the world. And that alone, when you follow the world, let this be your reminder that opens your eyes, that when you follow the world and you live of this world, you're trying to be this baddie. You're trying to be everything that God does not have for you. You're trying to go after it. And it's of this world. It only comes with loneliness. It only comes with pain. It only comes with shame. It only comes with heartbreak. It only comes with these bad emotions. And people are so reliant on those addictions, those distractions, because they don't want to touch reality, because they don't want to actually see. Each distraction, each addiction doesn't add to you. It's going to lead to another addiction. It's going to lead to a spiral. And that's where people get out of hand. You got to really pay attention to your surroundings. You got to really pay attention to, okay, wow, I didn't realize how sucked in I was with this, and how it spiraled to this, and how it's affecting this relationship and my success and my life and where I want to go. And so I was like, God, I want what you want for me, because this ain't it. This life, I know a lot of y'all are struggling mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, but look at your distractions. Look at what is holding over your life. Look, there is no more shame when you become aware, and that will be your power. When you take it back and you're like, no, I'm going to rise up because this is not what's meant for me. Period. Number 6 is going to be, instead of feeding your distractions, I need you to start feeding your goals. Instead of feeding your distractions, I need you to really start feeding your goals. And so that is exactly what I did. Especially, let me use 2024 as an example. I knew that I wanted to be on YouTube, and I knew that I don't want to smoke anymore. I don't want to drink anymore. And also have the awareness of the consequences if I chose to go back and indulge in these things. Is it going to add to me, or is it going to take away from where I would like to go? And so I knew that if I wanted a fresh mind, if I wanted to be able to think clearly, if I wanted to be able to show up as my dream woman and get closer to her, I needed to give these things up. And I mean, I wasn't a heavy drinker, nor was I heavy in cannabis. For many people, this alone have actually become an addiction, have actually taken over someone's life. Now, there's a difference between distractions and addictions. Addictions when it's completely controlling your life and your decisions. Distractions are when you are aware that it's distracting you, but you choose it anyway, so that you procrastinate. You have to become aware of how you spend your 24 hours, and really be intentional. I want your word to be intentional. Everything you do, you say, you touch, you think of should be intentional from here on out after this video. That is going to save you every time. Once you're intentional, you will grow closer to the dream woman that you desire to become, to the dream life you desire to have. You will get closer when you are acting out of intention. When you are investing and pouring your time into your goals rather than saying, I don't feel like doing this. I'm not feeling that great. This person said this, so I'm going to let them win. And instead, I'm going to sabotage my goals. You know what I started doing? I started using my pain as fuel. I started using my doubt as fuel. I started using any negative thought as fuel. That's my motivation. A lot of y'all are looking for motivation. You got a lot of pain. You got a lot of people counting you out. You got a lot of people who don't believe in you or who are around you making these bad choices that maybe even influenced you to make these bad choices. And so this is where you take your power back and you start being intentional with how you spend and what you spend your time on and who you're around. It's so important for you to be aware of how much you're feeding your addiction. Start to starve that addiction. Distract yourself with your goals. Distract yourself with going to classes. Distract yourself with therapy. Distract yourself in the Bible. Starve your distractions and really water your goals, water your mindset, water your life, water the areas in your life that you want to grow like a plant. And number 7, seek guidance. My type of guidance is God, but I also encourage therapy. Honestly, when you're too ashamed, you don't really feel like speaking out. And that is where I would say God is the best. God is the best source. It's such a blessing to be on this earth and know that you can always turn to God, no matter where you are, no matter even if you strayed away, no matter how many mistakes you make, He never judges you, even when you are ashamed or embarrassed. And so give your worries to God. Give your shame to God. Ask for forgiveness. Ask for guidance. Ask for direction over your life. His hand over your life. His protection over your life. For Him to remove any bad company, any noise, anything that's not meant for you out of your life. Oftentimes when things are removed out of our life, we're so butthurt about it. Like I was talking to one girl the other day and she was like, I've been going through this breakup and it's hard. Listen, when God gives you a redirection, He's usually pulling you closer to what is actually meant for you. And if that man or woman was meant for you and it comes back to you in a form of peace, like if it wasn't peaceful to begin with, clearly that is not meant for you. God doesn't want you out here living in shambles or shame. God doesn't want you out here living unhappy and unhealthy and unwell. God doesn't want any toxic emotions for you. So when you're living of this world, that is what you're going to feel. And so it's really important for you to come back to center yourself around God, around His word, around His love, and understand that every time you read a scripture, it always says He's there for you, no matter what you do. He sent His Son down on the cross for our sins. And look, I am not heavy in preaching, okay? I am just newly in this journey, and I'm newly in this journey. I don't have tons of Bible verses to share with you guys. I'm just sharing my experience, especially this year, turning to God and just turning a new leap of faith, knowing that the only way I'm going to make it through this world is having faith and not fear. Because look at the news. Look at everything around you that is in shambles and turmoil. There's wars going around in the world. Like every single day, the insecurities of the world have our heart, have our soul in captive. Yet when you turn to God, you feel at peace. And that's all I need. So that's where I turned. And oftentimes when we're looking for that peace and that comfort, we turn to self-sabotaging coping mechanisms, distractions, addictions. And I just want you to wake up and pay attention and realize that this is the season to heal. This is the season to open your eyes to what has not been serving you. This is the time to make amends with the brokenness that has been over your life and come to terms that if you really want to see greatness and really see what God has for you, you need to wake up and open your eyes, open your ears, and stop being so distracted. This was such a last minute video. I really tried to put my thoughts together on this one, and I really hope I was able to add to you as usual. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, I hope along this video you decided to subscribe, and thank you. I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you guys so much. And before I forget, like, don't forget to celebrate yourself as you pull away from your distractions or addictions. Like, it's so important for you to celebrate the journey of you trying your best. And trust me, if you are struggling, I have a Bible verse for you. This right here, I'm gonna leave it right here.
Learn to disengage with things that take your mind away from reality, and know that the long-term effects of constantly distracting yourself will only harm you in this world and the next.